Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Every day of the year, I think about my beloved soulmate and how much I miss her, but this time of the year, almost more than any other, I think about her. This is my video I'm making for her. Sometimes people have asked to hear our story, so it's also for you, if you care to hear it. But mostly it's for you, my love. I miss you so much. This is the Ballad of Josh and Jen. You may find this story incredible, even unbelievable, but I promise you, every last word of it is true. My name is Josh, and the love of my life's name is Jen. We met at school, more years ago than I can clearly count. It was about 8 years ago, I think. We were, I want to say, about 14, 15 then, we're 23 now. Even just the time we did spend together, for the amount of time we've been alive, that's the equivalent of a 50-year marriage. That's how I look at it. It was love at first sight. She was the only girl at the school, it was a private school, I knew I was going to be excited to have a girl come, I hoped, maybe, she'd be cute and maybe if I was really lucky, I would get her to go out with me. I never expected to find my other half, literally, the other half of me. I found that and more, my soulmate, my best friend, my lover, my girlfriend, my fiancée, my closest confidant, my therapist, my world, my everything. At that school, they tried not to let us be together. She was living with her crazy aunt, her whole family is crazy and evil. We told her never to see that boy, so we sat in class all day, and wrote love notes to each other, just back and forth, every day. I had never met anyone like that, we just loved each other so much. We went in the bathroom and fooled around, and were lucky enough not to get caught. We talked on the phone every day after school too, but almost always managed to hang up before her aunt got back. A year went by like this, then another. We swore we'd never part, no matter what, that we would get married. We planned everything. We were living in Florida, in the United States, but her family, who she lived with before she came to live here, were in Pennsylvania. They demanded that she come back, so we were separated. We weren't sure how we would go on, weren't sure if we would ever see each other again. We said our tearful goodbye, kissed, and that long last hug, but then, she got there, and she called me. The phone. We got unlimited long-distance plans, both of us, and spent 8 hours a day on the phone. We became even closer then, grew together even more. We shared every bit of our soul, became truly one and the same. We talked about every single thing we ever thought of, comforted each other, whispered our love to each other. I'm not ashamed to say, even though it may be too much information, we had phone sex. She is the only girl I've ever even kissed, or eaten out, or made love to, or anything. We started being able to have visits. We flew or drove back and forth. We spent time together, we cuddled, we took walks in the moonlight. I'm not making any of this up, we really did all this. But then, the family insanity started again. Slowly but surely, her mother got crazy too. She seemed reasonable at first, but over time, she started trying to ruin our life together. Unlike at the aunts, this was more than she could take. She graduated from school, she was there all the time. They started trying to brainwash her to break up with me. At first, she resisted like before, I was everything to her, just as she was to me. But over time, the constant pressure they placed upon her became more than she could bear. I went to a summer college program, and that was when she first said to me she was breaking up with me. I cried, I begged, I pleaded. I told her I couldn't live without her, that I would kill myself, walk out in front of an oncoming train, if she left me. After a month, she finally came back. She said she was so sorry, that how could she ever do that to her little baby boy, her Joshy bear, her love. She apologized, she cried, she cried. Then, a few months later, giving in to their pressure, she did it again. I got her back again. She did it again. Each time I grew more desperate. I hawked my stuff to get bus fares, and hop on Greyhound in the middle of night, so that my parents, are also evil, couldn't stop me. Her parents said I was crazy, so they eventually brainwashed her into believing I was, and said I had to go into a mental institution for her to come back with me, and I did. for a week, which is like the minimum, before they can release you, and I barely got out. The place was a living hell. I still have nightmares about it. I tried to walk there when I couldn't get enough. I walked for miles along I-95 before I was finally picked up by the police. I would have walked all the way there if I had the chance. 1,200 miles. That's about 600 kilometers. When I did get there one of the times, her crazy stepfather, who is a cop, had me rid out of town by the police. I spent nights out in the cold and rain, and wind and snow on a bench outside her development. I was lucky to survive that. Finally, I got her back what I thought was for good. She spent about a month at my house. We had a wonderful life together again, just like we always used to. In fact, that was the most wonderful time we had together. We finally made love for the first time, both losing our virginity. But then, they made her go back to Pennsylvania again, even though we were trying to get it set up then, so we could get an apartment, get married just like we always wanted, go to college, do everything we had always planned. Then, she got brainwashed. Again. I couldn't believe it was really happening. Again. After another month of trying to get her back, she finally, this time, said to me that she doesn't love me anymore, that she doesn't care about me anymore. After everything we've been through, everything we've shared, we're the same person. We can never really be apart. Her parents are evil, and they're torturing us, but what can we do about it? There has to be something we can do. Well, you gotta do something. Or, tell me something to do, or someone has to do something. This can't be happening. No, I don't accept this. No, I can't live if she doesn't love me. I don't accept that. I don't believe it, and I never will. I kept calling her, kept trying to get her back. I care more about her than the stupid universe. I love her more than anyone's ever loved anyone. For her, to try to get her back, I let myself be institutionalized, end up in homeless shelters, be burned and beaten, arrested, nearly killed, brave freezing cold and pouring rain. I have driven my life to utter ruin and beyond, past the point of all hope, because she is my soulmate, the only thing I have ever loved, because without her my life is so empty, so dark, so miserable and empty, that a black hole would seem like the brightest sun by comparison. Because she is everything, my whole world, and I will never let her go, because I love her more than love even is, infinitely more than anything, and that I know she feels the same about me, that she knows that the only place in the world she knows she truly feels like she belongs, is nestled in my arms, and that I will never give up on her, never, no matter what, even after 1,000,000,000 times 10 billion years, unto the ending of the world and the extinction of mortal flesh.